Elite Eight, Elite Eight.
Yeah. What we gonna talk about? Likely things, good things. Oh yeah. Oh, they did get their ass popped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like it. Welcome back to the age.
Yeah.
Y'all know who we are. Hey, y'all know who we are. Gold teeth in the mouth. Y'all know who we are. Hey, yo, this the Raw, the Lump and Me show. All we gonna do is give you the game to get you to don't know. Hitting it up, busting the games. We already know we trying to watch some old things. Yeah. Hey, Mimi.
Hey, brother.
How are you?
I'm doing all right.
I know it's been a good week. We're ready for another blessed week.
Indeed.
And we got some cool things to talk to you guys about. We forgot to reach out to one of our people who had some information for us. You know, the horse's mouth
from last week.
Yes,
I did I got a phone call last week.
Yes,
and again, I'm not releasing any names or saying anything about my sources, but it was someone that was there firsthand. And let me just say this: if someone gives you a warning, and I mean a warning, and you know that they're serious in a situation where things are elevated and heated and negative, please take heed to their warning. You never know what someone has been through in the past. You never know what someone has going on right now, today, at that moment. Please take heed. And just because we are black belts, we are promoters, we are fighters, we are weapon perfectionists, just because we are in karate and martial arts, it does not mean that we have a right to put our hands on anyone. And that goes for me, everyone that's listening, and anyone that feels like you can touch someone when they told you not to touch me.
You better believe it.
Just like Juwan Howard.
Yes.
He told that man don't touch him. He still shouldn't have touched him or slapped whoever he slapped.
The other guy.
Right. But when someone says don't touch me, don't touch me.
Of course.
And that's so you don't invade their space, because we as martial artists, you get in a certain distance or you invade our space, and we will unleash our hands and feet. Some of us will kick you.
And then you have some parents who will protect their families
and children, childs, wives, uncles, nieces, blood, whatever it is. If you feel that you are going to protect your family, then you will protect your family at all costs. So please, let's keep our hands to ourselves.
So we don't scare these people away at these damn tournaments. We ain't had no rides in a long time anyway.
Absolutely.
Anyway, what else is going on, sis?
It's been a hectic week, and not hectic as far as anything major in my own life, but in general, just a lot of good sports.
Oh, yes.
Basketball on both levels, yes. Professional, college, women, men. It's just been great. I do want to bring up, since I mentioned basketball, the Brittney Griner situation, because
you got some info.
We had actually been talking about her, and it's not really anything I don't think anybody hadn't seen unless you're just not following it as I do. But she was actually able to talk to someone, and when I say someone, an American representative was able to get inside and actually have a conversation face to face, and they said she is in good condition.
That's good.
Being detained or being arrested in jail, she's doing as well as she could do. U.S. wanted to make sure that Russia is following
protocol type.
Well, there's a law as far as when another person is detained or arrested, and they wanted to make sure that they're giving her those basic needs and treating her accordingly to those guidelines. And from what it was reported, she is right now. She's just being detained.
Ooh, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
And when do the WNBA start?
The exact time frame, I'm personally not exactly sure, but I know it starts around May to June, kind of around your birthday.
So she still has some time to come make
possibly if she was still or if she was trying to get released and get home in enough time for Phoenix, but I'm just not sure. They are detaining her till mid-May, and then after that you still don't know whether she'll have to go right, if she's going to court or going through a trial, if they're just going to set her free. They haven't said that or released that as of yet.
Y'all guys keep your prayers up for that young lady.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
She's a community player.
I also read one other thing because I also had some questions about why no one knew about this and why it took so long to get out. And this is, again, only something that I'm reading. And when I say I'm reading ESPN articles, sports articles, and things that would have some solid information. So this is not something that I think would just be put out there if it wasn't true to a certain extent what they were reporting. There was an interview that Lisa Leslie she had done, and she's a legend in basketball.
She's the first lady to dunk, correct?
Correct. No? In a basketball game, yes. I believe so, in a game that actually counted.
Yes.
Yes.
Big shout out. Big shout out to her. I don't know. Go ahead.
You're so silly. She actually did a report because she was asked the question, why hasn't Brittney Griner gotten more publicity to get home or to figure out what's going on? And her response was, this is not, if this was LeBron James, if this was LeBron James, or if this was a high profile like a Tom Brady or even a Patrick Mahomes,
keep going,
they would have done a whole campaign, Free Brittney Griner. They would have done a lot of things, a lot of extra things to give more publicity and eyes and media attention to this. And I agreed with her, not saying just as a man, but in general, if she was a high profile person, I think she would have gotten more recognition. Well, she also went on to say that they, as WNBA players, retirees, and having that connection, that they were told not to mention it. And once she went on with her explanation, it made sense.
Okay.
Because at first it was like, well, why would they do that? And she works for them basically, and is one of their star players, athletes. Well, she said that the WNBA, and I assume the NBA also, because I haven't heard much from them in response to this, that they were told not to mention it and push it publicly, only because they didn't want it to influence the war. And they didn't want them, and then when I say them, Russia, to use Brittney as a bargaining chip, and using her as a bargaining chip for the war. And it made sense because you don't want her to become a prisoner of war. Meaning you have
captured the US.
Yes, and you have captured, and then again, everyone knows that the United States now, it's been all over the news, has sent, I don't know, $800 billion over as relief money, whether it was in money, tanks, bullets, fighter jets, or anything like that. We, as the United States, are trying to help. And being that she's over there and still stuck, they didn't want her to go through anything that that she wasn't supposed to. So again, I also think that ties in to them being able to release and get in to see her as far as face to face. And we were getting the reports that as of now, she is in good condition. I think all of that kind of works together, and it's that one big melting pot. Not saying that no one cares, because I definitely care about the young lady. She's from Houston, Texas, and I've watched her for a long time, in high school all the way up to the pros and in the Olympics. I definitely care about her well-being, but when you say don't, or they didn't push it as much, it makes sense. Now, again, I don't know if this is the truth. This is what was reported in a legitimate article.
Of course. And it was somebody's opinion.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it was also what she said she had received and what she was not ordered to do, but they told her and suggested we didn't want to put her in this situation. So I think so can I. That's what I wanted to say. Once I read it and finished listening, because I actually went back, not only did I read it, I watched the video where she actually was talking about it, just to get an understanding of what she was saying and how she was putting it out there with her energy. And to me, it sounded legit. I've seen some other players and other people press for this. I know that they've said even like Michelle Obama has done Free Britney. Even Hillary Clinton has done a Free Britney campaign or hashtag. Let me say that. It was a hashtag. So I think that certain people, certain players, depending on your connection, you have to watch what you're doing. You don't want to step on eggshells, but you want to make sure that somebody's out there and trying to make sure she gets home safely, because that's the worst thing, is to be trapped over in another country.
It's scary.
I missed a flight and had to wait just a few hours. Imagine if someone detained you and you can't leave until they say so.
And, we watch shows. So,
Absolutely.
I catch a few episodes and I see them people in that back room and it's like...
what is it? Something Abroad that we watch.
Border Patrol. I watch Border Security. I watch people trying to smuggle things in and just how to catch a smuggler. Like, I watch those shows. I really watch a lot of the airport and border security shows just because I just be looking at the knuckleheads and then the cajoons that they have to be trying to do the things that they're doing.
The cassava melons. That takes some guts.
It does. Like,
I think so.
Enjoy your time. Whatever it is you got on you, enjoy your time where you at and let that shit stay there. Like, right. Period. I'm not going to judge you. I'm just letting you know that if you have a family at home that you're trying to get to, that shit does not, like, it's not going to fly. And you have to be very cautious on where you're trying to come from.
Absolutely. You know that right now you can't really go anywhere. When I say go anywhere, leave the United States, go into any country unless you've been vaccinated to get back in, regardless if you're a citizen or you are having a return flight. So if you go somewhere and you go over there and you're not doing something you're supposed to be doing, and then you get caught, please make sure at least when you get caught, you've been vaccinated, because not only is it hard to get back into our country, you are in another country and you don't know that their guidelines, stipulations, medical,
their numbers. Yeah.
Right. You have no idea where they are. And so to me, that's like bad on top of bad. I mean, it's all bad in general and you don't want to be in that situation. But if you're going to leave a country, please be vaccinated also and go over there, have fun, be in general. As far as boundaries, have stipulations, and then come home and you can say you had a good trip and you made it home safely.
Oh, wait. Y'all heard it from the best. I tell y'all, she is the champ. Now, Mimi.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to say something and then I want you to give me your opinion on it.
Yes, sir. I'm listening.
Black Lives Matter.
Okay.
Let's take away the police, because that's what they really did it for, was the police.
The injustice.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, sir.
How many times do you see when we see crimes and murders go on in the Black society area from another African American?
How many? Wait, say that again. How many?
How many times do you see the Black Lives Matter stand up or protests go on when you have an African American kill another African American behind clout chasing, behind girls,
for whatever reason?
We just saw car wash
situation,
a dad and his son.
So you're asking me, I want to understand your question.
Of course.
So you're asking me, do I see Black Lives Matter back or support when it's black on black crime? Is that what you're asking me?
Yes, ma'am.
Off the top of my head, no, I can't say I remember that. I would think personally that if Black Lives Matter, it mattered across the board, whether it's black on white, black on whatever color or race you are. I would think that it matters across the board. Have you seen something?
No, ma'am. And it bothers me because it's like that goes unanswered.
So you saying you have not seen them support black on black crime?
That's right.
Maybe now, I don't know, but when you say black on black crime, maybe because that is something they want to avoid. And when I say avoid, they don't want to support something that they don't believe should be in their realm of support. Now, when you say injustice, not being treated fairly, that's what I'm assuming, and they want to support. They want to push that we are being mistreated. Now, black on black crime is not it is being mistreated or someone being mistreated because you're a victim, but it's us attacking one person versus another. And in the other injustice realm, it's us being attacked. And that's just my thought. I'm not sure.
No, I definitely want that.
It could be something totally different.
So
but
what do we do to slow that down?
Slow down black on black crime?
Yes.
First of all, we have to find something that's meaningful. And when I say meaningful, something that gives you something to be proud of, to work for. Sometimes black on black crime comes from jealousy. It can come from not having your own, being in a situation where you think you have no other choice. I've seen some women, and not even women, just family members, make wrong choices because they said I needed to feed my family. Now, across the board, me personally, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to feed my children, for us to have a roof over our heads. But to say that I would go into something that is a criminal act, robbing, stealing, anything like that, I personally say I wouldn't get to that level. I would be more willing to ask for help from my family. Could you help me out this way or that way? Some people are opposite. I'd rather go out and make it happen before I ask for help. See, it depends on what you are looking for and going through. The black on black crime, I think for us, we need to all have an outlet. That outlet could help us in a lot of ways. And when I say a lot of ways, it can make you see things clearly, or it can help you get your mentality on a better level to where you know what you need to do and how you need to do it to be prosperous. Quick money, easy money is not always the best money, and all money is not good money.
Ooh. Next one, product of your environment.
Okay.
Give me some input. Like meaning behind that. I know, but like listen. Sometimes just listening to you talk, Mimi, you just don't know. Like you're really a gift from God. Like,
I appreciate you, brother. I would have to disagree, but I do feel special in my own ways, and that has to be. That's dealing with me and myself.
And that's my opinion.
Yes, sir.
So
we all entitled to it. Some people might say she's a bitch and an ass.
Some,
and I would have to say you're probably right, because I can't.
That mean they caught you on a bad day.
Absolutely, we rubbed each other wrong.
But to hear you speak highly of just us, our culture, and to know that you have a good background of knowing about our culture. Of course, I've learned a lot of things from you in the history book about our culture.
Yes,
Juneteenth was something big that I learned from you. It made me actually go look it up more and learn a few more things about it. But product of our environment, I've heard you say it a few times in the last few weeks, and it's been sticking out.
Well, it's it can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. So first, I want to say that, because sometimes when you say someone's a product of their environment, it's normally something negative, because something happened and this was you doing certain things because you were in a certain situation or you were in a certain type of environment. But there are positive things that come out of being a product of your environment. Now, to me, and what I've learned from school mostly, and then my own experiences throughout life, when you sit back and you reminisce and rethink of things, a product meaning you came from, no, let me say this. I'm going to start over. I'm going to say, as humans, we are about habits, and we are about certain situations to where we adapt, whether they're good or they're bad. I'll give you an example, and I'll use myself as an example. There were certain things in my life, and this was before karate, that people used to connect me with, because you saw me at a certain place or I was with a certain group of people. And when I was with those people, certain things would happen, certain things didn't happen. But just because I was in that environment, it didn't mean that I had to fall into that certain type of product. It didn't mean that whatever was going on, that my habits and my actions were a reason or the reason of me doing it was from where I came from. It wasn't the certain idea that I wanted. If someone said, oh, well, this is the way it is because of this, I was the type of person to think, well, no, that's not true because I'm not like that, or I didn't experience that. Another example I want to use is sometimes, and we'll go back to like what you were saying, the Black Lives Matter question, and then the black on black crime. You can be from any area and crime will be crime. You can be of any color and crime is crime. But when you, not but, certain situations, as if I grew up, let's say in the richest neighborhood here in Houston, and I grew up in that area, in that neighborhood, but I still turned out to be some sort of criminal, I wasn't a product of my own environment. When you become a product, I think you have certain triggers, stimulation, and certain beliefs that you were taught, that you picked up as habits, as thinking right versus wrong, was thinking yes versus no. Those things doesn't necessarily have to come from you being in a certain environment or a certain situation. I think it has more to do with your mental psyche and how you see things and believe things. If I grew up and I was a bank robber, and I grew up to be this not well known, but a good bank robber to where I got away with more than I was caught for. My parents never robbed a bank. My parents never robbed or stole anything from anyone that I know of. So I don't think if I turned out to be a bank robber, I wasn't a product of my environment. I think it was more of my choices, what I was going through, what I felt was my only option. Again, psyches, your mind, everything that you go through, and I'm speaking of right now in my little situation, my little example, everything that you go through should have thoughts and a roadmap. And when I say a roadmap, mentally, this is what I want. This is how I think I should get there. And this is the ultimate goal. Once I go down that path, success is right there, or whatever it is, whatever you're trying to come up with. I think I gave you an example.
Of course.
I hope I explained it correctly.
Oh, no, for sure. And I know some people out there is going to be like, wow, I feel the same way. But that's it. Somebody spoke up.
Just because we are in karate and we can defend ourselves and we enjoy kicking and punching each other doesn't mean that we're violent people to where we like to see, adhere, and entertain violence. Yes, we like combat. Yes, we like competition, but it's structured. Just like street basketball versus school basketball. You have one that's a little bit more free to make it more, exclusive, not exclusive, but electric, yes. To make it more custom. Yes. But then you have school basketball or organized basketball is what they refer to it as. Yes. When you have that, then it's more of a strategized game. Sorry, I couldn't get that out.
That's all right. But you when you slow down, you be killing it. You look like me when you slowed it down. Yes.
I had to sound it out, syllable for syllable. It's like when we were saying Villanova.
But yeah, I definitely would kept calling them the wrong people. But yes. But Mimi, thank you for that. I was going to do something else, but I'm gonna leave you alone.
No, go ahead. You got me thinking now. I like to be mentally stimulated.
I know
that.
I know.
Anything that makes me think is great. It feels like I was
suicides.
Okay.
I received a text message this week.
Okay. I think I know and remember what you're talking about, but go ahead.
And the message read, today is my last day on earth. I'm sorry to all the people that I have hurt. Period.
Okay.
When you have somebody talking like that, what is the thought that we should do as a community, as a tribe?
Now, when you say as a community, did they send this message to the community, or was it specifically to you?
It was social media to blast.
Okay, so they did it on a platform to where they let everyone know that's friends with, they're friends
Yes,
with,
pretty
or
much, yes.
in their lives have that
Yes.
connection. Okay. My thought is anytime that anybody not mentions, because you can mention it and not mean it. Anytime someone says something about suicide and you are not sure if they're serious or they're joking, but there's a chance that they're serious, you should always try to figure it out. Because if they are serious and you took it for a joke, that can be something hard to live with. Um, I personally, I have myself tried things in the past, but it didn't happen or it didn't work. And when I say it didn't work, I thought I was doing something. I was going through something, and I thought that was going to be the best decision I could make. But in all reality, what I did to make it happen was not the proper way. Thank God.
Yes.
Because if it was the proper way, I wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Thank God.
Sometimes people say things for attention, to see if you care, to see if anybody's listening. And sometimes people say it as a way to ask for help. So if it's brought to my attention by anyone that I talk to, whether you're a friend or not a friend, or it's something that I have a vibe for, I feel this person is going through something, I'm going to take it serious. Now, when I say take it serious, I wouldn't necessarily go to the extreme of taking them or calling the police or taking them to a psych place to get them analyzed or get them tested. What I would necessarily, or what I would do for sure, is to sit down and see if I can talk and get a connection with that person in the manner of, why do you want to do this? Why did you say this? Are you serious? Are you not? Find out what they mean. If they came to you and they brought that up, or they said it and they're serious, this again is me saying that they are serious and needing help, then I think you should do it in a delicate manner. Everyone is different. Sometimes you need to act on an extreme level, and sometimes you need to act on a, I want to say, passive aggressive level. But on any side, whether they're saying it for truth or saying it for attention, I think it needs to be addressed, because it's not something to play with, for sure. It's not something that, if you're saying it for attention, it's not the right way to get attention. So if you are doing that in that manner, thinking it is, we need to work this out, talk about it, and fix it, so you understand that that's not a joke. It's like guys say all the time, the girl told me it wasn't my baby, so I'm not doing anything because it's not my baby. Well, on both sides, she never should have said that. Whether it's true, not true, especially when you're angry and upset, you don't say things like that. And on the second side, on the man's side, whether it is or it is not yours, you know that you did the deed, so you should at least step up halfway or some way until you find out. You have to step up for someone, to someone, and for someone when you feel like they're crying out. I know karate people don't always cry out. Our crying out is to be tough because we're black belts, or go hit and punch on the bag, or go and distract or divert ourselves from that feeling. Once you distract or divert, it doesn't take it away. What it does is it sits there and it manifests. And then other things that are complicated in life. Everybody's in life is different from everybody's in life. So my crossing the street and getting upset may not be the same type of you crossing the street and getting upset. So if it's brought to your attention, we need to handle it. And I think, again, this is why we do this show. We as karate people need to be there to support each other. If we can kick and punch each other in the face, if we can go and share hotel rooms and hang out and have fun and build 2 days for 20-year relationships.
That's what I'm saying.
If you can do all of that in a long period of time, and over time, I still don't know what goes on and understand what goes on you outside of karate, then our relationship needs to be worked on and be reevaluated. Not because we shouldn't be friends, but because we don't know each other well enough. Because we haven't put forth the effort outside of karate to make sure we understand each other. Or we have that other person that doesn't want to open up their feelings because we are black belts or because they think they can handle it. We need to let all of our karate family and everyone involved and around us, it is okay not to be okay. When you're not okay, I am there to help you be okay. Black belts are black belts for a lifetime. We are on a lifetime mission. It's not just karate. Everything about black belt mentality exists outside of karate, outside of black belt mentality. I mean, outside of the karate school. Excuse me. Inside of it, we're all the same, basically. Black belts in martial arts, so we know how to feed, we know how to bounce and entertain each other to pump us up in a certain way. But what happens when we walk outside of those doors and we are basically alone, or we're the only black belts in a certain area? How do you handle life when you're not in your black belt environment? Ooh. Meaning you're not a product of your environment. What you are is you want to be in your environment so you can produce and be productive. You can do that outside of karate. I had to learn that recently in the last few years. Understand your worth inside and also understand your worth outside. Nothing is more important than you. And I mean your mental psyche. You being the best you, black belt, the best parent, the best uncle, the best mom, the best sister, brother, whatever it is, be that best to everybody. I made a post this week that says, be good in everyday life, not just on social media. I hope and I assume that me myself I've been the same way with any and everybody that I consider family and friends. Now, what I have changed is the way I act, react, and the things that I do in general. But the same Regina, to me, and what I want and think is that I've been the same person. I've gone through some things that I've shared. I've gone through some things that I haven't shared. But in general, if it's something that I can't deal with personally, mental psyche, I'm having some trouble thinking, I'm having this mood, it's been a hard week, I reach out because I know that if I can't, black belt mentality, I'm not afraid to ask for help.
For sure.
That's it.
Ooh-wee. I gotta move on, y'all. Look, she got me over here in tears right now. I'm just emotional, but just hearing her, and I'm sure some of you guys just love the word that she just gave y'all. A lot of the talk that she just gave, a lot of the cultures. It's not just for African American cultures, for all
everybody.
Cultures. It's for everybody. You never know what people are going through. So this week, I'm gonna give you guys a challenge. I challenge you to reach out to someone. I don't care who it could be, someone, and just let them know that you were just checking in on them.
Absolutely.
It could be the same person you talk to every day, but eventually let you be the person that make the phone call to do the check-in.
Absolutely.
I got a few people on my list. I definitely want to.
I think I do too.
Reach out to
that I haven't in a while, yes. And whether I've reached out, they didn't respond, or they reached out and I didn't respond. It needs to be done all over again, and I will do that. I think I got more than, would you say 2?
I said 1, but hey,
okay.
You know,
all right. I think I have a few, at least 5 good people.
That's why I'm sure we all got a few.
Yes.
And it don't even have to be to have a full conversation. Just hey, you was on my mind. I just wanted to check your well-being, check your welfare, make sure you're good. You need anything?
Absolutely.
You know, like I say, it's not always about financial help that some people may need. Like you say, mental, emotional.
You just want to notice you have support.
That's it.
You have someone. I thank God for my girls every day, because no matter what I go through in general in life, there's nothing that I wouldn't do for my girls, and there's nothing I wouldn't do to look like Superwoman in their eyes. I am nowhere near Superwoman. I'm the most scariest, weakest person you would ever want to know. But my girls think that I'm Superwoman, and I enjoy it, and it gives me that energy and that mentality. This is what we need to do. This is how we do it. My oldest the other day, she was worried about going to school. Layla, she was worried about going to school because her and her friend text message on TikTok, not TikTok, on Roblox. That's what it is.
Okay.
Roblox, and then they have like her and 2 other girls. They also have a little group chat. Well, when she was with her daddy, Something happened, and the little girl said she didn't want to be her friend anymore. And so Layla, she came home and she was telling me about it. And she was saying how she didn't want to go to school because she didn't do anything wrong. And wasn't sure why she didn't want to be her friend anymore. So I said, well, Layla, it doesn't matter. One, you already said you didn't do anything wrong. And if you don't know why she doesn't want to be your friend, you figure out, is it worth asking her? Well, what did I do? But if it's not worth asking her, forget about it. Ignore it. Get it out of your head. Be the person, the best person you can be. Be happy, be positive, be nice, and only good things will come back.
That's right.
Well, her next question was, Mommy, how do I get bad things or bad energy out of my mind so I don't think about it?
Ooh, wait.
So I was like,
wait. And Layla is how old?
She's 11.
Y'all hear this? So this for y'all people that don't think that your kids think outside of the box
or have ideas and
she's
questions.
11. She's 11.
She does. She has a lot of questions. She's asked me a lot of things here, especially in the last year and a half. So since she's understood that it's mommy and you and I and your sister here and then daddy's over there, she understands that. My response to her question was, anything negative, and that's in your head or in your life for the rest of your life, your first thing is to replace it with positivity. So the positivity can come from anywhere. You replace it with, my positivity has always been karate. Anything that I've done and I haven't been happy with, yes, that black belt mentality. Let me go over here and teach a class. Mm-hmm. Let me go hit the bag. Let's go work out. Yes. Let's go to the tournament. My thought to her was, replace it with something positive. If you want to find out what happened and be her friend, go and be nice. I'm not saying bow down or let anybody walk over you, but what I'm saying is to actually give yourself a chance to understand what she thought was wrong. If that's not a way to do it, then say, I don't even know the little girl's name. Let's call her Melissa. So if you walk up to Melissa, let's go over here and let's go hang out and let's go have lunch or let's go to the playground. Replace that negativity with positivity. So she said, okay, Mom. And I said, Layla, that's in everything in life. If something doesn't go in the right manner, and I'm not saying the way you want it to, what I'm saying is something negative, always replace that with something positive. Well, she came home the next day. We were walking back from the bus stop and she was kind of excited and had a little extra bounce and pep in her step. And I was like, oh, you had a good day at school? And she said, oh, yeah, Mommy, I did. Melissa and I were friends. She said that she didn't even mean to send me that message and that it was good that I brought it up because she thought I was mad at her because they didn't talk right away.
Wow.
They didn't say anything to each other.
Of course.
But when Layla made the effort to go and speak or say something to her, it was important to her. Then it was a total misunderstanding. Wow. And a lot of things that people go through in life. She cried because she didn't want to go to school because she thought this friend was mad at her and that she didn't want to be her friend anymore. And then to replace it with something positive, it took her a little bit. It wasn't something she did right away. She had to think about it. It was throughout the school day. But ultimately, by the end of the school day, her total attitude in that whole situation had changed. One of those things, replacing it with positivity, is something that I have had to work on and something that I still am working on, because certain things send me into a total panic, and that's negativity. But what I do is what I want to say is give in to the negativity, because it puts me in a state of I need to regroup and gather myself. So it's kind of like I marinate in it, and then I get a feel of I don't like this. I don't want this, but what do I need to do to fix this? And in general, that is my mentality. It's a process for me. It's certain stages. That first stage is this. That second stage is this. That third is this. And by the time I get to the ultimate fourth or fifth, then I have a better outlook, a better plan. And for the most part here, it has turned out in a positive manner to where I've been able to balance it. I may not win, but I'm not losing either. It's just balance, and I can cope and handle it.
And give you giving you the opportunity to, when you're ready to take off with it, your ass.
Absolutely, because eventually I will succeed and win at it, or I'll figure out how to get you the hell out of my life. Boop, blocked.
Now, next topic, college basketball.
Hey,
I know you got some information. For me. I haven't been picking your sport brain in a few weeks. I know you got some info on me.
Well,
so let's talk about the Sweet 16. You can start me from there.
Okay, well, first of all, let me start over. We, as Texas, had 7 teams.
How many?
7.
7 college teams.
College teams in the
across
tournament.
The state of Texas.
Correct.
What?
TCU, Texas Tech, U of H, Texas, University of Texas, Corpus Christi, and Baylor. And then we had another 2. That was 5. But we had about 2 more. Houston and Texas Tech made it all the way. Baylor lost last week when we were at the tournament, at Eva's tournament. I think I talked about that one last week. That was a surprise. But this week we had only 2 teams left, which was Texas Tech, and we had University of Houston.
H-Town.
Hey.
H-Town get down.
Hey, we do every year. So we had those 2 teams. They both University of Houston lost last night to Villanova.
And this would have been the final 8.
Well, that was the Elite 8. They were trying to get to
Elite 8.
Yes,
this
sir.
was the Elite 8 that they lost.
They went through Sweet 16, and then they were the Elite 8, and they lost. So they were on their way to the Final 4.
Last year, they
lost in the Elite 8. Actually, no, last year I think they got to the Final 4. I want to say that, but it could have been the Elite 8. I know they lost to Baylor last year. Houston and Baylor played each other.
And then one went forward.
And then Baylor moved on, and they actually won the title last year, but they won't win it this year. I knew that it was going to be a good. I think I said this last week, and I've said it ever since I heard Charles Barkley say it. They were in the 4 regional brackets. There were the top 4 teams in each bracket. 4 times 4. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Each bracket had 4 teams that possibly could win the national title. And the way the bracket ultimately broke down to get to today and where we are, you could see that. Gonzaga's out.
Yes.
They lost to Arkansas. Baylor lost.
Yes. Michigan lost.
Michigan State. Yes. Everybody that you thought could have at least gotten to Elite 8 status or Final 4. This team, Duke, I did think Duke.
Of course.
Because Coach K has always had great teams, and this is his final year. I can understand you wanting to go out with a bang. We all want to do that. Some of the other teams that, North Carolina is still in it. They have an opportunity to get back to the Final 4 and even to the championship game. We will see what's going to happen. I think it's in New Orleans this year too. We will see who's going to get there, but all my teams are basically out of it. I'm just looking for some good games, but mostly I've been on the NBA, brother.
I know. We've been having a lot of injuries. Shout out to all the injury reserves.
The questionable people that comes up on my phone is questionable.
The Qs.
That's it.
The Qs. So yes, big shout out to them. I hope you guys are healthy and prepared. Because I know the playoffs is coming very soon.
Absolutely. I want to say congratulations to Kyrie Irving.
I was just about to say it. Literally.
I admire him. And when I say admire him, I'm not saying what he did was right. I'm not saying what he did was wrong. But what I'm saying is he stood by what his decision was.
He stood by.
He stood by whatever his beliefs were. He didn't let the fame, the money, the critics, the other people pressure him into giving up himself. So in that case, I admire him. He wasn't one of those judges that looked at another judge to make a call for themselves. He didn't hesitate and say, well, let me think about it. He lost James Harden, my beliefs. I believe that James Harden left because he didn't play.
Because the promise of it's supposed to be us 3
exactly
that do this team.
Durant's injuries, you can't say much about injuries or you can't dictate injuries. But to say you won't get a vaccination to play and you stand behind it, I think you deserve kudos from me. Because at any level, me personally, if you're paying me $200 million, I think I would do whatever you told me to do.
Sure.
I think that knowing I go to a job and my job says I have to do this, well, if I want to keep my job, then I'm going to do it. He was able to stand by his word and not only still play basketball, might not have been at home games, but he was still able to play basketball, and he lost money, a lot of money when he didn't play, but it still didn't change him. And I just want to say that is someone that I personally can respect more than doing what you're supposed to do on a regular basis.
And the teammates that didn't try to leave because he stood by his
word, right? Yeah, and they knew exactly what it was. It wasn't he's telling me one thing, doing another, or what he said, what he did. He stood behind it. He meant it, and it didn't waver. It didn't change. It's like going to court and you tell a story. Your story has been the same, and it has been consistent. There are New York Mets, New York Yankees, other people more than NBA basketball, from what I understand, that didn't get vaccinated.
Yes,
with their mandate. Sure. And also, it didn't matter because they weren't playing baseball at the time. It wasn't baseball. They were on a lockout. So they put him as their poster child on, and I don't want to say poster child in a negative way. What they did was they always talked about Kyrie Irving and the reason he couldn't play.
Yes, it was brought up.
It was brought up all the time. It was all time as an issue. It was always an issue. It was always mentioned. Every time I watched a game, that was always talked about. Okay, we get it. We understand. We know how he feels. We know what he's willing to do, but it didn't change. And they never mentioned all those other players that didn't get it. And when I say other players, baseball players and basketball players,
hockey players,
they never mentioned anyone else. And that's their prerogative. They are the media. They can say what they want. But again, it never changed him.
It did.
It never made him second guess himself.
No.
And he comes off the bench, not the bench. He comes into the game after missing 8 games, and he scores 50 and 60 points.
And then I know that his team is behind him because every away game, they let him show out. Every away game, they let him show out. And now he's back at home. He has a home game. I can only imagine what the fucking stadium.
I already picked my team.
Yeah,
guys, I'm sorry. I do a little basketball on my phone a little bit.
Yes,
I love it.
She'll tell where you find. You can find her at on there. You can find her on Basketball Live.
No, don't find me. Don't find me because I don't want you to know my secrets.
Basketball Live. Big shout out to one of our old teammates.
Okay.
I heard he did get to sign with the Karate Combat.
Okay, who are we talking about?
And I'm talking about Mr. Short, 3'6", bald head, Canadian, eh?
Hey, Black Rob.
Mr. Robbie, Black Rob Lavoie.
Hey, baby.
Yes. Ooh, shake him up.
What happened with Black Rob? I know he had the little baby. He's so cute.
He had this child. I guess Black Rob is ready to go to the next level of his career.
Okay. And what you mean the next level? What is he doing?
He is doing full contact Karate Combat.
Oh, like Ross?
Yes, exactly like Ross.
Different weights, of course.
Okay. I can't wait to see.
Me either. Okay, tell me what division Robbie is in compared to Ross.
Well, I'm assuming, I don't know the weight cuts.
Okay.
All the way.
It would be like a light versus a middle.
Maybe a light and a light heavy.
Okay. All right.
I'll say Ross is like light heavy, but he could be middle.
Okay.
Ross could be middle because Ross.
So that's still
Ross is middle.
Okay, so that's still like I was referring it to
30. At least I'd be 30 pounds. Easy.
Okay.
Easy.
If I was gonna compare it to karate, so like if we did grand championship, you're still having a lightweight on the bottom bracket is where Robbie is, and then Ross is on the heavier side.
Yes.
Okay, so they technically wouldn't even meet if they had a tournament like that to the final type thing.
If it was open weight, it was an open weight, that's too dangerous to have an open weight.
Oh, absolutely. In that combat. So in that Karate Combat, they do ground fighting.
They have a few seconds to attack on the ground like we did with NBL.
Okay, and then they stop it. I've seen the refs stop it and then they get up. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I think Robbie will do good. I have faith in my brother.
Leg kicks, I think just the reach. I think the reach would be
Have you seen anyone in his divisions yet?
I have. I saw a few guys.
What do they look like? Are they tall? Because I know Robbie's little.
One is tall, like
skinny tall.
Like
okay, so he probably doesn't have weight.
Remind me of Connor.
McGillicuddy.
Yes.
Okay, so that's very tall for Robbie, but he does good or better.
And this is not a point fight; it's a full contact,
so he can get in there. And he's done contact.
Oh yes, kickboxing. Robbie's done kickboxing fights, and he didn't fought with the biggest of the bigs.
Right, I remember him being in a fighting league before when he was doing it. I think it was kickboxing that we see before a couple years ago.
I think the double up kicks he throw at them is going to kill their
Can
ass.
you throw with a double kick with?
I don't know, but Robbie's going to throw a nice side axe kick. Axe side, and I think he's going to drop some people.
Possible.
Sure. Yes. I definitely see him being able to go somewhere in it.
That's one thing about I love point fighters switching to moving up. Let me say not switching, because sometimes I think we move up when we join a fighting league and it's not something we're used to.
Oh, yes.
Most of the fighters I've seen step it up to these outside MMA or full contact platforms, sidekicks, and the point fighting bounce, the footwork.
And I'm talking about
like no other.
Ray, Michael Page, Blake Spence,
Thompson,
Chris Walker, Stephen
Wonderboy Thompson, like all of us, Sage. Those sidekicks and the footwork, the movement. Yes, I see our guards are a little low because that's what we're used to. Guards being somewhat down or only having one hand up, front hand up. Dangerous, but it doesn't always dictate the fight. And as long as we can stay on the stand up, then for the most part, we're going to come out on top. It's the ground fighting. I'm not sure. Has Robbie have any background in ground fighting?
I'm not really sure. Like,
maybe honestly, we can get him to come on with us next month.
The person I really know that got that background in ground fighting and is like really an all around fighter is Chris Walker.
Okay, like, definitely.
Hands down, C-Walk is got it all. Like,
absolutely.
I watched him train Jack on the ground. I watched him do U.S. Open.
He does it already now.
Yes, I watched him do U.S. Open grappling. I watched him do kickboxing. Like,
he's a monster.
C-Walk is a beast.
Absolutely.
When it comes to martial arts, period.
Absolutely.
Fighting, period. Forms, traditional weapons,
everything.
Creative, gymnastics.
Everything.
C-Walk got it all. Like,
everything.
Full-fledged.
Ever.
Yeah, I'm happy to have him over here with us over here on this martial arts internet work too. You know, he over here. He's part of the CTE.
I'm gonna reach out to Robbie because I would like him to come on the show and tell me about it. I didn't hear anything about it until it was just brought up.
Of course.
So I would like to know about it and so get a little interview with him. So if you listen to this, Robbie, look forward to hearing from me. I'm going to reach out to you and see what we can do about next week.
Definitely.
I want to know about your weight. I had no idea that.
And actually, then I wondered, because his eating habits are going to change.
Yes.
Training habits was going to be
Robbie
different.
has always been able to use that cut the weight type mentality. Sure. We were on teams with him for years, and to see not that he gets fat, but when he picks up body bulk weight to carry a little punch or weight behind his punches, but you also. I've seen him slim down to where it's totally toned and fine.
He 109 wet.
His son is bigger than him right now. And he is so cute, Robbie. I'm so glad he looks like his mommy. No, I'm just joking.
He better not act like his daddy.
I'm going to have to ask Robbie. I'm going to say, Robbie, next week, when you remember when you wanted to beat me up? Like, for real, beat me up? You were mad at me? And see if he remembers.
Of course, he's not.
That's all right. I love you, Robbie. I'm gonna bounce you on my knee when I see you.
Yeah, but I'm excited for him.
Me too.
And then it also gives Ross a back person over there with somebody he's used to competing with.
And they can train. They're not that far.
Train together.
I would assume they're not. I'm not from that area.
I don't know how it is when you go off. I think you go off to camp.
Oh, like before, UFC in the house type thing.
But not as long. But I think you have your own little camp that you deal with maybe for about 2 or 3 weeks or so.
Oh, well, see, that's why we definitely need to get him on the show because I'm interested in all of that. I want to know about all of that.
And then it's so crazy with me because I thought you was going to do it.
What?
But life happens.
What you thought I was going to do?
Karate Combat.
I still want to. I still want to fight. I still want to compete.
And it seemed like it's wide open now. They got Robbie Lavoie picked up in this thing.
But let me just tell you this. When I reached out to them, because I have.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a process. Everybody, it is a process. It's not like, oh, you so-and-so. Oh, yeah, come on. No, not for us. Oh. Now, it may be for the Ishiru's and the Kumite fighters because it's more of their style of fighting. But when it comes to the point fighters, oh, no, they want a full resume and some extra shit.
I could have given them what they wanted, but when they wanted me to do the shirtless part with the pictures, I can do it. All the pictures fully dressed. but I'm just a little uncomfortable with my body.
No,
and my baby fat and certain things, and my tummy. And now I got pandemic pounds. Jesus, ooh. I would have to do a lot of weight losing.
Oh my God!
But I would combat as far as kickboxing. I just couldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to deal with the leg kicks. I wouldn't want the leg kicks. And if you kick me in my leg, I'm gonna boot you in your ass. No, I'm just joking. In general, leg kicks have always been my downfall. That's why one thing when I did kickbox a few times. That's a few years. When I was younger, I did it a few times. Everybody knows my instructor's a kickboxer. So it was something that I realized early. I could hang with some of the girls and the women with punching, but as far as the leg kicks, that is not something I want to deal with or I want to fight with those rules. I would never want to.
I tell you what, I just end up sliding down my little Vibe thing over here. Mm-hmm. And you better be careful if you come to Texas thinking that you're just gonna be whooping on somebody. Payback's a mother sucker. That's all I'm gonna tell you. You know, you see who the center is and everything like that. That's all. But you know, that's why I be trying to fight people sometimes the way I fight them. Like I don't know, I have no business fighting them anyway. Oh, so we're gonna move on because we're almost down to the last of the few minutes of the day. And I know Mimi got a quote for us.
Not yet, brother. I'm scrolling. Again, I was so wrapped up in these basketball games. My apologies.
Oh no, you're good. I'm almost about ready for mine.
Go ahead, take your time. I'm coming.
Yes. So I hope everybody is going to have a great week. I must tell you all that instantly. We have a few tournaments coming up. I hope to see some people at. Next week we have Mr. Mongoose Open.
Hey, we'll be there.
Mike Palomo, San Antonio, being down there April 2nd. San Antonio, Texas, it's going down. All those junior fighters, black belts, under belts, y'all better be prepared because Mike Palomo has the Mongoose ready and they come strong. And I'm sure they're going to be trying to represent home.
Oh, you know what I thought about? Sorry to cut you off.
No,
Isn't Isaac Moreno fighting tonight?
Is it tonight?
It's Sunday. Or was it last week?
I think it was... it is coming up.
We saw him last week.
Yes. And I think he said it was this week.
It is. I believe it's today.
So big shout out to him.
He's one Team Gypsies members. He used to point fight with Gypsy.
And I forgot about Isaac. And Isaac got ground game and kick full contact game.
Yes, he's doing well. I saw that. Excuse me, but I'm gonna actually bring her up also. Mahala.
Oh,
Keller.
Yes.
Let me pull it up.
Utah. But that's just like the Chase sisters.
That's it.
You know, like big point fighters. Like I really can say that
women
I watched
also, not just men.
What?
Women also, not just men.
I'm not finna play with you.
You silly. Hold on.
Y'all just let her do that to me. Women, just not men. Men, y'all better start standing up on y'all feet.
Y'all always do. Y'all get all the attention.
No, we get a lot of it. I'm not gonna say all of it. So I damn sure be getting that. What you was about to show me?
I'm looking for her post that she here it is right here. She's 2 weeks out. Mahala is fighting. She's gonna be in Oregon, April 9th. I'm gonna actually reach out to her also and see what we can do to get her on the show and get her covered. Sure. In general, again, I like any martial arts. Doesn't have to be a woman, it can be men also, but anyone that steps outside point fighting, tournament fighting, what we're used to, sport karate, and you step it up to that combat. I would love to know about it, hear about it. This league, I'm not sure. But of course, everyone starts somewhere. I'm interested in seeing it. It's a North Kickboxing and MMA league.
Well, I hope
American.
I hope Miss Finlay can be prepared for Hyla. That's her name, Finlay.
No. I'm telling you, I said who? Because I was gonna say I've been hit by her before.
Oh yes,
and that is point fighting and light contact. Only imagine what she's gonna feel like when it's full and hard. She pushed me halfway across the ring in not San Antonio, in New Orleans.
Yes. Slugfest.
I was so stunned and shocked. One, it was like Superwoman.
And there was a time where I needed to not be your coach too.
Right, because I was angry. You couldn't get to.
Yeah, Mr. Ronald needed to coach you because that would have been the time I'd have been looking at you like, oh, hit her back. Okay. Oh, Isaac is on today, 4 p.m.
Houston, Texas. He's here in Houston. We need to hit him up.
And look what it say. I walk by faith and not sight. Let's run it. Hey, I love that.
Look at him.
Oh, represent, brother. When I saw him last week, I was like,
I grabbed his arms. They look like tree trunks. Oleander trees at that. The ones that's lining Galveston.
I fought Isaac maybe about 3 or 4 times too. And it wasn't pretty. Like
he and Red, Chris had some wars.
Oh yes.
That super
and like it wasn't no light contact wars. They had real full, like you would have thought that they were in MMA outside of grabbing each other and going to the ground
fighting. They stood up there and
striking. Oh no.
First point wins. I don't want to fight no more. I don't quit. I don't want to.
And they had clashes after clashes after clashes. But I tell you, that was then. I tell you, I love to see it.
I'm gonna have to reach out to him also because I want to
for sure
see what it says. 4 o'clock. I'll be here with the girls. I got to drop the girls off. I can't.
It'll be well, you know that'll be soon. So I did go ahead and get to the quote. I do have one.
I got sidetracked, brother.
It's all right, but this one is deep because I gotta let my brother go. My brother's about to enjoy where he's at.
Okay.
So I don't want to hold him too long. This one, God dang it, who did that to me? This one reads, who is around you and who is down for you are 2 totally different things. Who is around you and who is down for you are 2 totally different things. And that 2 is spelled with a TWO as the number 2, not TOO. Okay, for you fools that's out there. Now, ladies, and gentlemen, Luther, if you don't talk to him with respect, another woman will. He's a man, not a boy, Damon.
Yay.
Honor him.
Okay.
I liked it. That, you know, that's from my little lady, the young ladies that's out there, you know, trying to
figure it out,
trying to keep a man. We're gonna have that show soon too.
You don't keep no man. You can't keep nobody that don't want to be kept.
You keep the boy and make him a man.
No, absolutely not. His mother was supposed to do that.
Girl, I'm not finna play with you. You got your quote.
I'm still scrolling and you distracted me.
No, you got plenty of them in your head. I'm sure you can lead these people with something very, very good.
I got one. And this is because I've experienced people giving their children more than they should handle at their ages.
Ooh.
Talking and putting children in a grown-up's position. I ask my children to leave when it's grown-up time or grown-up situations. This is a child's shoulders were not built to bear the weight of poor adult choices.
Oh my God.
A child's shoulders were not built to bear the weight of poor adult choices.
And what actually happened.
Exactly.
This is one of the days our detective did contact you. Went inside, seemed to have lunch.
Yeah, I heard that.
And we see some quite tawdry behavior.
Oh my God.
You heard that.
You heard that. Oh my God.
Bad behavior is not made to be landed on these kids' shoulders.
Absolutely.
I liked it. That was deep. That was
trust yourself. You've survived a lot. And you'll survive whatever is coming.
Whoa.
Look up, not down.
Y'all heard that. Big shout out to our sponsors, Virtual Fight Tour, CTE.
That's it.
Martial Arts Internetwork. Mimi for the amazing show you gave us today.
For the amazing questions, brother. You know, they say we compliment each other well.
I love it, boy. If the breakdown you give is just so amazing to where you should be able to understand it.
That's how I had to understand it, get it broken down to me, or not come up, but understand the different processes, put it together and make sure I can process it correctly.
And damn, you're doing a great job with it.
Thank you.
Big shout out to you.
I'm ready for school to start.
I know, I'm telling you. Big shout out to all you guys who stay here listening. Make sure you guys are sharing the show.
Please like us on Facebook.
Yes.
Like us on everywhere. Like us on
Share it.
YouTube. Share it.
Podcast, Apple Music, the whole works, Spotify.
All of it.
Yes, share it. We just try to keep you guys in a good, positive mindset for a week to come by.
Black belt mentality outside of black belt mentality.
Y'all better keep up with it. All right.
Have a good week.
Y'all
guys.
have a good week. This is once again the Raw, the Me, and the Lump Show. Yeah. We holla at y'all.
Thank you very much.
And